But we need to be talking about this latest rumor that Luke Skywalker is going to potentially be getting his own show. This coming out of the Den of Nerds. And the Den of Nerds was a little bit unkind towards poor little pro. That's me. But saying that the rumor that we had, that we talked about Luke Skywalker being cobwebbed and the other OG trilogy characters being cobwebbed, that was just bullcrap, is what the video said. And so we do have the video linked down below if you want to go check out what the Den of Nerds had to say. We did invite Den of Nerds on, and we suspect that Den of Nerds is going to be able to make it in the future onto the channel, but they're traveling today and they were unable to be here for this topic.
And he did walk back that word a little bit. That bullcrap is a direct quote, but on Twitter he said, "I just disagree."
Well, good. So what I want to talk about now, let me address some of the things that come out in this video. And by the way, I'm plenty thick-skinned. I find all of this fun. It's not a big deal, and I'm not above reproach or criticism. So, in fact, we've kind of joked in the past. Jonas, I think, critiqued me at one point, and that's how he came on board with that Park Place. Lorne Connor corrected me about the Mandalorian before I knew who he was, and he came on board as a result. So maybe I'll be hiring the Den of Nerd, or I guess the Den of Nerds. Maybe they'll be on board with that Park Place before too long. But here's what the rumor is out of them, essentially saying that Luke Skywalker is going to be heavily used in an upcoming Star Wars show, and that potentially Luke Skywalker could even receive his own show. Specifically, Den of Nerds talks about Shmook, the person who was behind helping Lucasfilm figure out their deepfake technology, that he had left the company, and still, though, that Luke may appear as deepfaked, I suppose. Now, my rumor that I had reported on, and let me just remind folks out there, and I don't like to do this, but I just want to say, we reported on the Nintendo Cinematic Universe from day one on this channel. This channel is still just a little baby, right? Still just 5 months old, but we reported on the NCU. 4 months later, Chris Pratt verified that it's happening. We, on day one, talked about the Harry Potter reboot, and they would be recasting the kids. Made it all over the web. It helped grow the channel, but people said we were crazy. We were mostly being mocked right in the articles. Guess what? They're doing a Harry Potter reboot, and the kids are being recast. So, and we could go through the list of things that we've announced. Now, that's not because I'm great. That's because we have great sources, and I mean that. And we're honored that the sources we have come to us and tell us things. We met with a source not long ago, Jonas and I, who we weren't sure was going to be legit. We met this person. They are legitimate, and they're an incredible source. Now, that's not the source that gave us this stuff about Luke Skywalker being cobweb, but a person of very high standing inside the industry had sent us that information and corroborated by a second person. Now, so what I have heard from people that I really trust is that the legacy characters are essentially cobweb. They're only available for cameos. We've got this counter argument now from Den of Nerds saying that, oh no, Luke might even be getting his own show. Now, I want to go around and ask you guys, not only do you think that this rumor is true that Luke might get his own show, but also I want to go around and ask you why Lucasfilm would not, because I think that's the more interesting topic. And if it turns out that Luke does get his own show, I'll be happy, because maybe I'll be happy. They might ruin it. Cancel that. I'll be apprehensive. But so I'm open to the idea that Lucasfilm has had some sort of decision that's changed their trajectory behind the scenes. But I'm interested in why Lucasfilm would not, because it's money. If you put out Luke and Luke is good and Luke is the hero that Star Wars fans want to see, it's like printing money. It's the easiest way to profit in the world. Hughes, I want to start with you. Do you think that, in fact, Lucasfilm and Disney are ready to go back to Luke Skywalker, the hero Luke Skywalker? And why do you think that? Why would they have any reason not to do so?
I mean, I don't believe it is, but even if they do, it's not going to work, because of the fact that we saw what they did with Kenobi. Okay, we saw what they did with Kenobi. They're going to introduce another female character and everything into the show to put Luke in the back seat, or they're going to put his wife in the lead as if she's in the show. Okay, they're just going to go ahead and do this for the cover of DEI to get people to be heavily invested in it, where they're not really caring about the cause itself. They just want to do anything possible just to go ahead and make money, but instead they're falling flat on their faces.
So Hughes says that this is another bait and switch opportunity for Lucasfilm to put out Luke, potentially, and then give us a different character in the lead. Lorena, what keeps me skeptical of this rumor, and you know, if Den of Nerds turns out to be right on this, then I give all the congratulations on it. But in terms of why I'm skeptical, I'm thinking about the roadmap we have ahead. We know that the Rey movie is out there. We know that the Mandoverse movie culminates all of this. And I just don't see the schedule available for them to create a show that's going to involve a vast amount of trickery, right? They've got to have Mark Hamill on the set for the entire thing, out of just the good graces of trying to do what's right. They've got to have somebody else play the part. They've got to deep fake the whole thing. It's going to cost a ton of money. They also, Lucasfilm, we know, creates these shell corporations that operate inside the UK, and so we would have some foreshadowing of it. And right now, none of that exists. So perchance it will occur, but if it does, they better get on the move. What do you think?
I hope this rumor isn't true.
Ooh, now that's a spicy take.
Think
Why?
that it is. Well, let's rewind the Wayback Machine to when The Last Jedi came out. Okay. I have been an ardent Star Wars fan. I loved Star Wars. Part of one of the reasons I got into engineering besides Star Trek was Star Wars, especially the droids in Star Wars. Huge Star Wars fan. Force Awakens, it was all right. It was all right. It tried. I wanted to see what they were going to do with Finn. Then The Last Jedi comes out. And I was so angry and pissed off. I mean, pissed off with what they did to Luke Skywalker that I didn't watch anything Star Wars for a year. How are you going to do that to such a fundamental character in Star Wars, titular character in Star Wars, and you're going to do that? I mean, yeah, you bring them back in The Mandalorian. Why? To bring viewers in. And I won't say that I didn't cheer at that. It was good to see Luke. I love how they did that.
And we had hoped they might retcon some stuff at that point.
I'd hope so too, but that retcon train was not going anywhere. It wasn't heading towards retconning. It went off the tracks, going over the gorge, like in Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. It's gone. Okay. I do not trust them with what's going on. Like Hughes was just saying, you know, the Rey movie, something that I saw out today was stuff about the Acolyte. It's very obvious that is where Lucasfilm is headed. They are towards female-centric, girl power. The Force is female. And my worry is that if they do bring Luke back, to do what with him?
You make a great point.
The joke. I don't want to see that.
You make a fantastic point. We have come to the place where now, even if they announce the character that people want to see, people are reticent to get excited because it could be terrible. And when you bring up The Last Jedi, I have to speak on the part of 99% of the audience out there. This is how they all feel about The Last Jedi.
3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me?
Yeah.
Jonas.
Hey, yeah.
All right, so Star Wars Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy teases Luke Skywalker's presence in the Rey-led 2025 movie. But folks, if you're excited about Luke potentially being there, don't be. Just wait till we read this. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy has shed some light on how Luke Skywalker's presence will be felt in the Star Wars movie directed Charmin Obeyed Shinoy, featuring Daisy Ridley's return as Rey. Also, if you have not yet seen my video about this movie likely now being delayed and talking about just how crazy Charmin Obeyed Shinoy is, every single day brings a new quote from that director. She is odd. Whether it is her talking about enjoying making men uncomfortable, or as I pointed out in this latest video, there's a clip now from her from the World Economic Forum of all places, where she is talking about how she enjoys scaring men. How bizarre. Anyway, it says, we all expected The Force Awakens to serve as Mark Hamill's long-awaited return as Luke Skywalker. Instead, he didn't appear ever in any of the... no, that's not what it says. It was a strange decision and meant that we never got to see Luke, Han Solo, and Princess Leia reunite on screen and cost the studio of Lucasfilm and Disney billions and billions of dollars. It doesn't say that either. Too truthful. Too truthful. The Last Jedi's portrayal of the Jedi Master was an issue, even for Hamill himself. And not even a heroic sacrifice of dying of Force constipation could make up for it. The rise of Palpatine tried to make up for that with a Force Ghost appearance, but it mostly fell flat because, well, it's not what we want. Since then, the younger Luke has been somewhat redeemed with appearances in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, and by that we mean it made that show into the highest watched show on Disney Plus and any streaming service out there, and it has been middling at best since. Here's what Kathleen Kennedy said, though, in reference to the Rey movie. We're going very far back. We're looking at the present, and now we're moving 15 years after the rise of Palpatine, Kathleen Kennedy said of the project. The First Order has fallen. The Jedi are in chaos. There's even a question of how many exist anymore. I'm sorry. Didn't you answer that with The Last Jedi? Doesn't that tell us how many are left? And Rey's building the new Jedi Order based on the text that she was given and that Luke imparted on her. As the tree burned down.
Actually, wasn't that the description of Return of the Jedi in the TV guide?
She has a hard time remembering.
I'm confused here. How are all the Jedi in chaos?
I don't know. I don't know how. Maybe Rey is in
what
chaos.
Jedi?
That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Like
that was the whole point of the sequel trilogy. She's all that's left. Maybe Dave Filoni got in there and said, "Hey, my characters can't die, so they're going to continue on."
Odds
they
are
never die.
Still made it.
That's right. So I bring up this article because if there's hope that Luke is going to show up in the Rey movie, I don't see that happening, and that leaves us with the Favreau Filoni universe, and now it's just basically Filoni, it seems. And I don't know where Luke fits in with the stories that Filoni wants to tell because he's obsessed with his own characters. Gentlemen at the bottom, does anybody have any thoughts on where Luke would even fit in if they wanted to bring him at this point?
Isn't he dead?
Well, this will be ahead. We're talking about just the Mandoverse, so at the point where he's still alive and I suppose still good.
Well,
how?
I'm confused. I thought we were talking the Rey movie.
So the Rey movie is essentially eliminating Luke Skywalker as appearing because Kathleen Kennedy says that his presence will be there, talking about the books that Rey has that he imparted to her.
So in other words, sorry.
Yeah. So basically, Kennedy's already eliminated Luke as a possibility in the Rey movie. Now maybe a Force Ghost appearance, but I mean nothing of a significance.
It falls back into the other thing what you guys were covering for about the Cobwebbed stuff. It seems like he's only going to be there as an asset to teach Rey to be the better, bestest ever, because that's all it could be. There's no other place for him. He's not going to reincarnate himself as someone else. Okay, so let's go, Stephen. Let's go to that then. What a source has told me again. Now this one not as highly placed. I'll grant that, and no offense to this source at all. We love this source in and around Lucasfilm. But they have said that basically what's going to happen is in the Filoni movie, because these things take a long time to get worked out contractually, that they want to have the three original heroes in a brief cameo together to kind of eliminate the criticism that they face from the fandom. And then also, if they put that into the Mandoverse movie, into the Filoni directed, and we assume Filoni written culmination of all of the Mando characters, that will pull in audiences to go see that, even if they hate Star Wars and hate Lucasfilm now. Tom, what do you think? Well, Stephen, go ahead. I'll go quickly, but I don't need to go to the theater to see that. I can just turn on the original trilogy. I don't need their help with that.
You don't need their CGI zombies.
No, I have the original trilogy. I don't need them to insert them like a postcard about to be mailed off to go, hope grandma sees it. I don't care.
Tom, would it work? I know that it's a cynical ploy by Lucasfilm, but would it work to put them all together in the Falcon and try to draw audiences into the box office for a 2-minute cameo, or is it too late?
What? I mean, no. I don't think so. I mean, who cares?
I'm
It's
with
only
you.
going
I
to be
think they've
some kind of
pushed it that far.
flashback, and it's going to be all deep faked anyway. I mean, everybody's dead. So
They have better luck with Jar Jar Binks.
yeah. What are they going to do? Bring back Jar Jar Binks at this point? Like that's all that's left.
You know what? This is like a bone they're trying to throw us, and we don't need it.
And you know damn well if Luke shows up in this thing, he's either going to be a Force ghost or he's going to be completely cucked out anyway.
Exactly, and that's my point.
I mean, Lorena said it earlier. They quadrupled down on the Force's female bullshit this last time at Star Wars Celebration. So
yes, they did.
They're trying to make women equal heroes in numbers as men. That's the whole.
They're trying to achieve parity for these. Well, even look at the award shows, right? So the award shows now require that you reach these various levels of parity, and that's resulting in these companies attempting to meet spreadsheet quotas as opposed to creating art.
But here's the thing to kind of add to that. It's like, I don't have a problem with you trying to include more women. What I have a problem with is doing this at the expense of male characters. That is the problem.
And the hand-me-down characters. They're too lazy to give us the exciting female characters that exist in the roster or invent new ones. They want to take the existing mantles of these popular characters like Thor and say, oh, here's the most awesome new woman hero. It's Lady Thor. And it's like,
it's Rey Skywalker.
You did nothing.
They literally did the same thing here. They said, no, this is your next Skywalker.
There's another underlying factor when it comes to Disney. Disney is trying to push Star Wars, a boys brand, into the female Disney princess market. The problem is with the trope of a princess, you need to have some type of hero, not just female, but male as well. You need to have princesses and princes to offset each other. You can no longer say the Force is female and promote princesses and have nothing for the boys. That has been literally the legacy. Do both, but they are not doing that. It's the same thing. They are negating men, making them the Neanderthals, making all of them stupid enough that they need every woman to yell Rey for, and they expect people to associate and relate to that. I don't relate to morons.
None of this is surprising because of the fact that look who they're working for, Bob Iger. There's not a creative soul within him. That's why he's done the Disney remakes. So he's letting Kathleen Kennedy go ahead and then just take the characters, the OG characters, introduce them with new characters, kill them off and everything, and just do a big spin-off.
He was going for blood there, talking about Iger, whose legacy is buying other properties, bringing them in, and apparently repeating the successes of the past by just rebooting. Ouch. Iger, you're right. He is not a man of creation. He is a man of resurrecting former creative successes.
He's basically Thanos with the turkey chin.
Yeah. You can also look at it this way within Star Wars itself and how Disney approaches it. They have a whole galaxy out there, a long time ago in a far, far away galaxy, right? We know the line. And why are they only focusing on this part of the galaxy? They have every opportunity to keep trying and failing or succeeding with characters outside of the legacy that they keep falling back on that they tell us are not good enough. So why are they telling us it's not good enough as a fan, not good enough as a product, yet it's the only thing selling, and they want us to come back when they find it deemable to be good enough for us? I'm not being told what to do, and I don't think any fan wants that anymore. Most of them have walked away, and they will continue to walk away to Nintendo World, where it's going to be grand and fantastic, and no one's wagging a finger at you.
It is going to be fantastic.
Let me say this too, Jonas, before you hop in, let me say this too. We'll see how this plays out. We'll see how the sources look. Den of Nerds, maybe they'll get this right. Maybe there's an animated Luke Skywalker show, but I do not foresee there being any kind of grand effort to pull back a live action version of Luke Skywalker. And even if there is, I think Lorena has nailed it. I think the fans' response as a result of Lucasfilm's prior mismanagement will be something akin to this.
It looked like this.
I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that. I jumped.
A forgotten classic.
I love that scene.
How'd you get Kathleen Kennedy without makeup?
Okay, so I have to say this before we do super chats. This whole digital necromancy thing, like if you do a single scene where you show like Carrie Fisher at the end of Rogue One, I roll my eyes a little bit, but I'm like, okay, yeah, it's respect, especially because she passed right before that movie came out. Okay, but having an entire series where you regularly have a character on screen that is not the actor playing, I mean, Mark Hamill's still alive, but if he passed and they kept doing it to where they have a passed on character on screen that has nothing to do with the performer anymore except their face, that's ghoulish. That's weird. That's zombie
well,
stuff.
I think that's the future we are headed towards on a great number of things. But that is a topic for another day.